Thank you for checking out Lakehead International's videos. You're about to watch one of our Lakehead International live webinars, a fun and informative way to learn more about Lakehead while also meeting faculty, staff, and current students. If you have any questions throughout today's video, please comment below. Otherwise, let's get started. Well, folks, with that, I would like to officially welcome and introduce the Dean of our Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Kaczynski. I'll pass over to him to share more and introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm absolutely delighted to spend some time with you and particularly to share with you what's happening at Lakehead University at the Faculty of Engineering with regards to our students and academics and the research and initiatives. We are the engineering school that just celebrated 50th anniversary. So it's a golden anniversary of engineering at Lakehead. We are one of very few engineering schools in the country with such a terrific record. And over all those years, all of our programs enjoyed the maximum possible accreditation of engineering programs. Accreditation is absolutely fundamental because it just tells you about the importance and the strength of those programs. We have currently 6 programs. We have mechanical engineering, mechatronics engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, software engineering, and chemical engineering. And in addition, we will be creating a new program in computer engineering. Now, myself, I've been dean at several other universities, including at York University in Toronto, University of Saskatchewan. I was a professor at McGill University. I was a founding president of a technical university in the UK. And I came to Lakehead a few years ago. And what brought me here, it was something that resonated with me as a professional engineer, as an academic, as a researcher, as a person, actually. I consider Lakehead as being a Mozart of engineering education. Now, what we created at Lakehead is absolutely unique. We created a sort of open system of variety for a different type of individuals. We have programs that are open to students who come to us straight from high schools. We have programs for students who come to us after completing their college education. We have programs for students with no credentials whatsoever, but with ambition and aspiration to become engineers. That is, we call it a pre-engineering program. Why so? Because we believe that diversity of offerings is going to stimulate vitality of engineering education. We believe that we are actually in the forefront of engineering education in our country, and it was recognized by Times Higher Education just the last year. We were ranked as #1 in the country with regards to undergraduate education among those universities who cherish or focus predominantly on undergraduate education. So what's wonderful about our offerings is also the opportunity to study in different locations. We have the majority of our programs are delivered in Thunder Bay. It's a beautiful, scenic place, quintessential campus that is located just next to the lake and is linked directly with the city. We also have our current electrical engineering program located in Barrie, which is just next to Toronto, which is much more urban setting. And we hope to expand our footprint in that area in the future. So what we want to do is to offer to our students a variety of experiences But those experiences are not only related to education, engineering education. It's also the opportunity for our students to link up with friends from other faculties on campus, other programs, humanities, social sciences, business, kinesiology, and so on. And why we want to do it? Because in the past, engineering used to change how we do things. But now engineering is not only changing what we do, but who we are as human beings. That's how we look at our students. We created at Lakehead a true family. That's exactly how we interact with our students. As dean, my door is always open to students to come and share with me their successes, some of the difficulties and sometimes problems that they have, and we always look at it from the perspective as our student being a member of this engineering family at Lakehead, and we always try to find solutions that are optimal for everyone. Now, in addition to engineering education, we also linked our and we also linked that opportunity with a new program that is called MBA. It's a Master of Business Administration. So that is the program that if you combine it with your Bachelor of Engineering degree, it offers tremendous opportunities for our students. You see, we've done it because we believe that just getting a job after graduation is not good enough anymore. It's all about employability. That means being employable in a variety of jobs. And this is over one's career. And this is exactly what will be happening to you, young students. So we figured out that just getting a particular set of skills in an individual discipline, say civil engineering or electrical or so, it's not going to be enough as well. It's all about getting a proper mindset. Mindset meaning understanding more about the world around you, the environment around you. And that's why what we wanted to do is to give our students an opportunity not just to learn more about engineering, but importantly, learn more about themselves, who they are, how they interact with others, how they interact with the world that is surrounding them. That is unique about Lakehead. In addition to that, what we embedded in our education is the opportunity for students to have a co-op education. That means that our students can spend time on the premises of our industrial partners, and we have many of them. We wanted to make certain that this is formally done, and we have a dedicated office of engineering co-op that helps our students to find those opportunities. Now, the opportunity to learn in industrial setting is terrific. Perhaps as important is the opportunity to earn while learning as well, and that what co-op is offering. Further still, what we do is we also give our students the opportunity to conduct research together with our professors in their laboratories, research together with our industrial partners, using their premises, their equipment, and their knowledge, and research conducting in our countries as well. So that having a strong research component in our undergraduate education is important, because we strongly believe that students should learn more by doing things rather than spending time exclusively in classrooms. Uh, and another facet of of the opportunities that we create for our students is to participate in a variety of entrepreneurial initiatives and activities. We give our students the opportunity to create their own companies while being students with us. We provide them with the space, we provide them with advice, we provide them sometimes with some seed funding as well. So you may see that the type of education that you're going to get at Lakehead is not only that you're going to learn what it means to become a professional engineer later on in life, but you're going to learn, perhaps as importantly, how to become a full individual, a person that appreciates the others, that understands the world, and the person that is definitely going to contribute to the future. Because we have to realize that engineers create everything that is not naturally created. And that's why we bore a tremendous responsibility for the future of the world we live in. We are like doctors, medical doctors. They improve human beings and make them better and healthier. We improve the world, and our responsibility is to make it better and to make it healthier as well.
That is simply put incredible to hear from you and sharing more information about what students can anticipate when they join Lakehead. Of course, you touched on a lot of different aspects, which I will expand on as we go over some of the programs and faculty overview. So I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Kaczynski. It's been my pleasure to host you. With that being said, folks, later on in today's presentation, you'll also get an opportunity to learn from a current student as well as some researchers. I know for a fact we have one lined up who's going to share more about wind energy and some of the research he's done about that. So stay tuned for that. But once again, thank you, Dr. Kaczynski, for sharing more information about the Faculty of Engineering at Lakehead.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. As we continue our exploration of the Faculty of Engineering, I would like to dive a bit deeper into which programs we do offer. So kicking things off, we do actually have programs at all levels of study within bachelor's, master's, as well as doctoral. We have 6 disciplines at the undergraduate level, 5 disciplines at the graduate level, at the master's level, pardon me, and 4 at the doctoral level. At the undergraduate bachelor's level, we offer chemical, civil, electrical, mechanical, mechatronics, as well as software engineering. So 6 distinct degree options for you with cooperative education opportunities in all of our programs at the bachelor's level. At the master's level, we have chemical, civil, electrical, and computer, environmental, as well as mechanical. And at the doctoral level, we have chemical, civil, electrical, and computer, as well as mechanical engineering. So whether you're joining us right out of high school or joining us for a second bachelor's degree, you'll have 6 different routes to choose from. And to those students that have already completed their first degree or perhaps maybe more than one degree elsewhere around the world, you're more than welcome to consider joining us at a higher level of education at the graduate level. So in a master's program or perhaps pursuing a PhD with one of our professors here at Lakehead. Chatting a bit deeper about the undergraduate offerings, I wanted to chat about the highlights within this faculty. So our engineering degree actually is quite unique in that we offer a degree as well as a diploma in 4 years. And so in those 6 offerings, we will offer you a diploma issued by Lakehead University after the first 2 years of your study, which then you can use that diploma to go out into the workforce, gain really incredible Canadian work experience in your summers and perhaps part-time as well, while still continuing to pursue your degree option, which is a 4-year program. So with that being said, we are the only university in Canada to offer this experience where you can get both credentials in just 4 years, which is pretty incredible. We also are proud of our accreditation of our programs with the Canadian Engineering Board of Accreditations. We have been accredited for the maximum length in all of our programs at the undergraduate level, which is really exciting and speaks to the high quality education and curriculum that we deliver for our students. As I noted, we have those 6 disciplines, so I won't go over that again, but it gives you an option to explore further and dive a bit deeper into your studies. I will note that when you join any one of those 6 disciplines at the undergraduate level, you actually start your studies in your discipline within year one. So there's no foundational years. There are foundational courses, of course, to make sure that you are going to find success within your engineering program. But you'll start your disciplined studies within year one, which is really great. We also have a unique offering with our Faculty of Business Administration in that you can combine select engineering degrees, so your Bachelor of Engineering, with a Master's of Business Administration or an MBA. And you just have to add one additional year. So it's a 5 year program in total. In your fourth year of engineering, we actually start to integrate some of those business courses in. So you take that fourth year, which typically is done in 8 months or 2 academic terms, and you spread that over 2 years, so 4 academic terms. And you do both your fourth year of engineering as well as your MBA over the final 2 years of the program, which is really exciting. Gives graduates a leg up in terms of employability, but also gives you incredible skills when you're looking to the future of job prospects and outcomes. As I noted, we also offer paid co-op work experiences within some of our programs. So that's really incredible for those students that are looking to apply that theory or that knowledge they've gained in their courses thus far, and they want to go and get that practical Canadian work experience, and then come back and typically wrap up their degree in just 1 year after that. So something to look forward to if you would like to dive into any of these offerings or learn more about the programs I've already discussed. Please visit our website at lakeheadu.ca, and there's better descriptions of each programs and what they entail, what you'll study, all that, to say the least. As you sort of better understand what offerings we have, you may be asking yourself, where did Lakehead grads typically go? Well, this list is a compiled list of where we have seen our grads go, but it's not exhaustive by any means. It's not representative of where students have gone over the rich history of our Faculty of Engineering, but it gives you a better idea of as to what you can perhaps anticipate as to what jobs may be coming up. However, when you're looking at wrapping up a degree, especially undergrad degrees in 4 or 5 years, this list will evolve. And that's the beauty of engineering, is that you will be a part of a field of study that is ever evolving and coming up with new and exciting themes. So stay tuned for more, but next we're actually going to sit down and learn more from a current mechanical engineering student from Vietnam. And it's my pleasure and honor to introduce Hung Lam, a current student within our Faculty of Engineering. I'll pass over to him to say hello to the audience and introduce himself, and then we'll learn a bit more about how he's gone involved, his academic journey, all that sort of thing. So over to you, Hung.
Hello, everybody. Hope your day is going really well. And my name is Hung, and I am a third year Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. And I am also the current president of the Vietnamese Students Association.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us on today's webinar, Hung. Could you also share with the audience where are you originally from? What country did you join Canada from?
I came to Canada from halfway across the world from Vietnam, and it is a quite a huge change coming from such a tropic country to a colder, more snowy area.
For sure, yeah. And obviously, I can draw the connection between where you're from and now that you're the president of the Vietnamese Student Association. We'll dive into that in a few moments here. But my first question is typically reflecting on your academic journey. Could you share with us a bit more about any moments that stand out as pivotal in terms of your studies or shining moments?
Um, so one of the biggest moments in my academic career so far has to be in the class Thermal Sciences, or EMEC 2651. And for the final project of that class, we had to pick a location, any town in the city within Canada, and design a single room house from the ground up, essentially. So we had to decide the foundation of the house, how big the house was, and what material to build the flooring, to build the walls, the roof, the window, the door out of. So pretty much picking a location and making a house from scratch. And it was such a pivotal moment because we had to pick all the materials that constructed the house, every single layer, every single pieces of that house construction was done by us. And it really showed me that as an engineer, I mustn't only focus on a single item of a design, a single piece, but I have to look at the thing as a whole, right? Whether that piece fits in with the entire design and whether that design would function properly where it was meant to be.
Interesting. So I'm curious, and I'm sure the audience is also asking, where did you decide to build this efficient home of yours?
So kind of kicking back to the story of how of where I am right now, I did pick my new home in Canada, Thunder Bay, and it is simply because it is the closest thing that I have to home and the most familiar thing that I have to me. And picking Thunder Bay as a location would also correlate greatly with my project being that when I finish with the design, when I'm done, how thick the walls are, what the walls are made of, it is so familiar to me because I live right there, right? The design parameters are sensible to me because I have experienced firsthand with what the environment is, what it needs to be, what the house needs to take care of to be a warm and cozy house. So Thunder Bay was the location that I picked.
Very interesting. Shifting gears here, of course, academics are our number one to studies at Lakehead and coming to an institution in Canada. But I'm also curious, how have you enriched your student life and your experience thus far outside of the classroom? So beyond those classroom environments, what do you get involved in?
So, as I've mentioned before, I am the current president of the Vietnamese Student Association, and we do a lot of things outside of the academic life. We have had three events so far, three major events, two mid-autumn events, and then one Lunar New Year events that we collaborated with Lakehead International, and um, two and we expanded. We had events that shared the cultural celebrations that shared the cultural points aspects of the Vietnamese people across to um, everybody else within the Lakehead University community. And on top of that, I am going to Montreal this January to compete in the first ever Lakehead University concrete toboggan race team. And we are going to be racing against all of the schools across Canada. And it is half a learning experience academically since we also did have to design our toboggan from the ground up, picking all the materials, all the design parameters as we were. But it is also about we also have the spirit component to the competition where we have to have dances, chants, we make videos, we make clips, and all of those combined makes for a quite an exciting life outside of schoolwork.
For sure. Yeah, I know that Lakehead's Faculty of Engineering has been highly awarded in some of these student competitions. I can name the Steel Bridge Engineering team. They often come back with medals around their neck or accolades from their success. So I wish you and your team all the best when you head over to Montreal and compete against other Canadian institutions. But the experience is not all about winning. It's just that. It's the experience itself and giving you a diverse way to learn. I'm also looking to ask one more question before I let you go here. What advice would you give to future engineering students before they start their academic journeys at Lakehead?
The two biggest advice that I would give to any future engineering student is first to go to your classes, listen to your professors, and they have a lot to deliver, not just within the lecture, but also just their knowledge of being in the field, having worked as a professional engineer, knowing what happens in the real world helps a lot with your career moving forward. And also ask your questions. They would be more than lovely to help. They would help you with it in the class, right after class, and in the office hour. Just ask your question and they would gladly answer. And secondly, just put yourself out there with the extracurricular events, right? Scout all the emails that are sent to you in the weekly newsletter, scout all the notice boards that are around the school, and just keep an eye out for when teams or clubs come into classrooms and just introduce themselves and just give you the information of what's out there, what to join. And that's not really a thing as you're not qualified for this or you're underqualified or you don't really know enough to join the team. Just put yourself out there, join the team, and it's a learning process. You'll learn a lot of things along the way.
Great. Well, thank you again for your time and sharing more about your Lakehead experience in the Faculty of Engineering. To our audience, next we're going to sit down and learn about some of the research happening at Lakehead with one of our distinguished professors. Thank you again to our professor, Dr. Elshire, for joining us here on our webinar about the Faculty of Engineering. Over to you, and I'll have you introduce yourself for the audience to get to know you a bit better.
Thanks, Jordan, and thanks for having me today. Okay, so about myself, my name is Ahmed Elshair. I am an associate professor at the Civil Engineering Department here at Lakehead. I lead the research group of mine, abbreviated SWIRL. So it is an abbreviation for Structural and Wind Engineering Research Laboratory. And it composed of a number of PhD students, masters, postdoc, and obviously undergraduate students as well.
Awesome. That's very exciting to know. I guess we'll dive right into it. And could you share with the audience just one of the research projects that you're currently embarking on or partaking in?
Absolutely. So if we look at, like, even from the name of my research group, it is a kind of a mix between structural engineering and wind engineering as well. So we look generally about the impact of natural hazards on structures and how they perform under natural hazards. Mainly wind. So people usually look at wind, and we also acknowledge that wind is a useful aspect of life where it can provide electricity. It can just like play with our hair a little bit, like in a windy day, but not my hair, of course, but maybe others. So, but for us, like as structural engineer, we look at wind as like a natural hazard where it can affect structures if they are not taken into consideration in a proper way. One aspect of our research, it is related to optimizing our structural systems. So we can design structures to be safe, but in many cases, we look at how we can optimize our design, not only to make it just safe, but we make it like in the optimal form within different constraints. So it should be economic, where to place the structural systems, how to work with the connections, how to create the walls that can prevent the cold climate into infiltrating into our structures. So we look at it globally. So we the output or the product that we produce, it is not only good, but it should perform the best as well.
Of course, yeah. There's a lot of factors, I'm sure, that go into it. As a business grad myself, most of that goes over my head, but we appreciate the work that you're doing and researching, of course, ensuring that buildings are built effectively and safely at the same time and are efficient at the end of the day. I know that that's a up and coming sort of world that we live in, is that every building needs to be of the highest efficiency. So I know that that's sort of ongoing in terms of the development of that, and certainly exciting to hear that we're involved in it here at Lakehead. In terms of the research itself, I know you mentioned you work with postdocs, master's students, undergrad students. Could you share with us a bit more about how they get involved in that research?
Okay, so typically research is kind of led by graduate students since they are dedicating their time towards the research. So for, let's say for PhD students, they take typically 1 year to do their courses, then their entire time will be dedicated towards the research group, research project, either by running experiments or running numerical simulation, analyzing results, or looking into the like the results and how to communicate that through publications. students, but this doesn't mean that we have a fantastic participation from our undergraduate students. Me, myself, I usually appoint a number of students through multiple programs. Like, for example, we have the NSERC USRA, which is dedicated for undergraduate researchers spending the summer with researchers to get involved in those kind of experimental testing and kind of touch the water and see if it is something that attracts their attention. And to my pleasure, that many of those undergraduate students, when they see how the research environment look like, they end up just pursuing masters and in some cases even PhD. So they kind of at least get exposed to research, because as undergrad students we teach our students how to design and how to work in design firms and so, but there is less involvement in actual research. So that's also a good opportunity for them. We have the program of MyTax. We appoint a lot of students under the MyTax program, as well as even our degree project. It is to my pleasure that many of my degree project students, or some universities called the Capstone Project, they are involved in research, and they actually published papers out of their degree project, which end up being like a highlight of their careers when they pursue jobs and stuff. It is definitely an addition to their CVs and profiles.
For sure, yeah. I mean, most students joining an undergrad program don't necessarily know what they want to do with their lives, with the future, and that's okay. I mean, I certainly didn't when I first started at Lakehead, but getting a taste for that research and having those opportunities accessible to them in the undergraduate level perhaps will persuade them or even convince them that they would like to further their education. And although you mentioned, of course, our programs are designed to build students to be career ready and gain jobs as soon as they graduate. But giving them that opportunity to explore research and be supported very closely by faculty is certainly important in our eyes.
And if I will add to that as
Of
well,
course.
undergraduate students, what I also always like about them, that they are usually very liberated in their ideas and their involvement. Unlike some of even us or some graduate students, we are kind of in many cases following some stream, but you will be surprised that many of the interesting ideas actually comes from undergraduate students, based on their like kind of, they are not like bounded by anything. So it is beautiful when seeing those ideas come from them.
Certainly, yeah. Having no preconceived notion of how research is conducted
Exactly.
or what should be researched can bring some interesting outlooks and
Exactly.
perspectives. On that note, with the last little bit of time we have with you, I did want to give you an opportunity to share more about perhaps what makes civil engineering at Lakehead unique and what can students anticipate to get involved in.
Absolutely. So I'm very proud of our department in multiple aspects in terms of the uniqueness of the composition of the curriculum itself. Like if I look at many curriculums around Canada, we are very proud that our curriculum contain a number of elective courses and some mandatory courses that I haven't seen much in other universities. Like for example, we teach, let's say, bridge engineering as an elective in the last year. We teach wind engineering as an elective in the last year. We teach also fire engineering, timber design. Those type of courses, it is very rare to find at other universities, or if they are found, they are typically found in the graduate level. But we are very proud to have them even in the undergraduate level. Another thing about our curriculum, it is about the degree project. So some of our degree project students dedicate their projects to obviously design, which is usually the mainstream for degree projects. But we were happy to have other two types of projects that are typically non-typical, which is either the research projects. So I talked about it earlier, that we have a group who is researching a research point that haven't been tackled at a certain way before, and they will kind of review the literature, propose a methodology, and then write a paper. And we have a lot of successful stories coming from that. And also we had some research projects, degree projects that are related to an activity, like to our pleasure that one of our very successful groups here at Civil Engineering is the Steel Bridge group. So I remember when I first joined Lakehead, I said to a friend, I'm joining Lakehead. Then he told me, oh, so you will be joining the Steel Bridge University. So the university were like linked to that very beautiful activity. And to our pleasure, we usually win a lot of awards and competitions based on that specific competition. And it's not the only extracurricular that student can be involved in. Like, for example, we have the CSCE, the Canadian Society of Civil Engineering chapters, where students can participate in activities generally about civil engineering. We have also the CSA, the Cement Standard Association, where students also who are interested in concrete are participating in that. We have a couple of clubs that are related to some very interesting competitions, like the concrete canoe. We have it this year, and the concrete toboggan. So, for example, I would just talk about the concrete canoe. Those who are interested in sports and stuff, usually people build canoes from a lightweight material that can just have some hydrodynamic and can be used as a boat or stuff. But the beautiful thing about it that you are making it from concrete, which is typically a heavy material. So you try to involve a special design for your mix, how to make the concrete lightweight and how to shape it in the proper form, how to make it strong enough to hold the people using this canoe. So it's a really interesting stuff. So.
I'm excited to see more about that right on campus. I've heard about it and I haven't quite seen it yet. But we need snow first here on the Thunder Bay campus before we have the toboggan races. So I'll look forward to that, and to our viewers, of course, follow us on our social media channels at Lakehead International, and I'm sure we'll be posting live updates when those races are happening. Thank you again for joining us. It's been my pleasure to be host.
Likewise, thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, I want to encourage you to comment below or connect with us on social media. We can be found at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching once again, and hopefully we'll see you at the next live webinar. Bye for now.